All right, let's talk about muscles. We'll start from the top and work our way down just like we did last time. First one, this one I think, I don't know, it's one of my favorites and I don't know why. Maybe I just like the name. Sorry, to sharpen up. So there's a muscle that attaches right here where, remember, this is the clavicle, this is the sternum, this is that little indentation notch, the base of your neck. The other thing that happens here is this muscle called the sternocleidomastoid comes in right here and attaches to all of that. It attaches to the base of your skull and to the point where the clavicle meets the sternum. It's that wiry muscle. We can actually see it right here where this light meets this shadow happening over here in the drawing. What's happening there, because that attaches, if depending on which way the head is turning, tilted, somebody's really straining, that kind of thing, you'll see that muscle move more than just about anything else. So as far as attaching the skull, the muscles of the neck, that's the most important one to me, and that's the only one that I really care that you know for sure before you get out of here. All right, the pectoral muscle on this side, you can see it pretty clearly over here, the chest muscle. But let's figure out what it does. Along the top, it attaches to the base of the clavicle. Bulks out depending on how bulky the person is. And then comes around, attaches to the ribs. Right around the 4th or 5th rib, it attaches across the bottom. And of course, it attaches along the sternum. So on this side, it's coming from along here, right about to here, and it comes out and it's attaching to the humerus right about there. And on this side, it's coming across, around, and reaching up and attaching to the humerus. So wherever the arm moves, the pectoral muscle has to follow. And you can see evidence of this right here. At the beginning of the armpit, that's the pectoral muscle. It goes underneath the muscles of the arm and attaches in there. And you can see this little indentation here. It's where the pectoral muscle is attached to the clavicle along here. Let's go of it, and it's traveling down and attaching underneath there as well. And then the indentation between the two is because of the sternum. It's because muscle is collecting as it comes in here. This top section is kind of interesting. It comes across and forms its own little piece. So you get this like triangular shape here. And then these pieces kind of come in packs of muscles as they attach to the sternum and head over there. And on a really defined figure, you can see that difference. You almost see, especially right at the sternum, you see these kind of indentations that happen along those separate packs there. This one swoops all the way over to here before it runs into muscles of the arm. And so on this side, disappearing, we can't see the humerus, but we know they have to go back and attach over there. The next biggest set would be the abdominals, and we have some pretty clear indicators of where it should be. So all of the abdominal muscles end at the pubic symphysis. That's helpful. We had his belly button over here. That's along the center. It follows this. And so there's a division between the two sets here. That's the bottom pack. There's 2 packs per side. I mean, 1 pack per side, 2 per section. There's 4 sections. So when you hear people say they have 6-pack, well, they're missing 2. Second pack happens in here, has just a slight downward. You can see in the shading here, just a slight downward cast to it. The pack above that has an even more down angle to it. And then the last pack attaches to the ribs, the top pack, and has the most downward angle of all of them. So you get the muscles of the abdomen. Coming in from the side, we get the obliques. They kind of do this and then go back and disappear. They wrap around and attach in the back too. The key thing for us is this is the flank or love handles portion. We can see evidence of that right here with this light's catching. That's where the front of the oblique and the back of the oblique is changing direction and coming and facing the light there. This along here is the edge of the abdominal wall. The obliques come along and they actually kind of come in and almost form this kind of teardrop shape right through here in the way they meet. And they wrap around to the back and connect to the spine. They're the muscles that are in control of you twisting. And then between the pectoral and the obliques, and kind of part of the obliques, but they do get a different name, are the serratus. There are these muscles that come down almost like saw teeth. On a really defined person who's not in shadow like they are here, you can see those. And what's happening there is muscles are coming in and joining other muscles kind of in this fashion right here, almost like fingers. In there. Let's see, let's keep moving down. We talked about the AS, IS, and the iliac crest. Really important. All of the muscles of the glutes happen to attach along the bottom of this crest. And so gluteus medius does its thing kind of right through here. And then gluteus maximus comes along and makes up the rest of the buttocks. And then the muscles of the front of the leg, the quadriceps, they all attach here too. One really interesting muscle called the serratus, not the serratus, the sartorius, comes in and across like this. It's this band almost that pushes in on the inner thigh before the bulk of the quadriceps pushes out. Then the quadriceps comes down, big pack on this side, smaller pack on this side, and a few more that we don't have to worry too much about. this muscle in here, coming from the pubic symphysis down. It's called the gracilis. And so what you get in this section right here is this inner thigh as an indentation, and then this bulk of the quadriceps and the second piece there. And the difference between those these is the sartorius muscle. Okay. Everything gathers together around the knee, and so we see mostly bone exposed there. The bottom pieces of this actually stretch across the kneecap, or the kneecap goes underneath it, and attach down here. And the bottom pieces of this muscle come along and they attach down here. The muscles of the calf, you can see they started way up here, up above the knee almost. And that's because the calf muscle actually comes up and attaches to the femur up here. That's what gives you the strength in your leg. This one pulls the leg up, this one pushes the leg down. This big bulky muscle that you see of people's calves, kind of right through here, is the gastrocnemius. And then the long, slow one coming down here is the soleus. And then we end in the Achilles tendon, which comes down and attaches to the talus. Along the front, it's mostly bony surface. On this side, if we did see any muscle pushing out through there, it's just the other side of the gracilis. Not the gracilis, gastrocnemius, sorry. Coming down. And then there's there's muscles here, but not a ton. If we go back up to the arm, the biggest one, and it's blocking our view, is the deltoid. It's the shoulder muscle. It attaches underneath the clavicle and then has whatever bulk it has, and it comes and attaches to the humerus. Probably not as far down as I've indicated, but I'd say about a third of the way. You can see the bulk of that happening here. This little line right here is still deltoid. And then anything that's pushing out here is deltoid, but not that piece. Biceps attaches up here fairly close to where the pectoral muscles do. And then bulks out, comes down, and it attaches to the ulna. Biceps, because there's two, kind of doing that. Triceps attaches a little bit higher, bulks up, comes down, and it attaches to the ulna on the other side and pushes out on the arm here. Triceps, because there's three. And then the muscles of the forearm, I don't really know. There's a bunch of them. Some of them twist across and follow the radius across like that and give you that stabilization throughout the arm. One more that we can really see here is the trapezius. So it's a muscle from the back. It comes up and attaches basically to the base of the spine. You can see that's trapezius there, but also this triangle of muscle right here is all the trapezius muscle. And it's basically this rounded piece going through here. And so between the how can it jump out of my head? It's my favorite one. Oh yeah, the sternocleidomastoid, and the trapezius, we end up with this indentation in here, which you can see happening in here on most figures. Now there's a bunch of other muscles in the human figure, but they don't affect the surface quite as much as this set I've shown you. And so if you know basically these guys, you're in pretty good shape. What were they? Pectoralis. Remember where it attaches, what it follows, what it has to follow. The abdominis, called the rectus abdominis. And remember there's 8 of those, not just 6. We got the external obliques, the love handles, the flanks, the Brad Pitt muscles. We've got the serratus, those finger muscles coming in from the side, wrapping around the back. We've got gluteus medius, attaching along the underside of the iliac crest. And then gluteus maximus, the muscle that makes up the bulk of your butt. And then we've got the quadriceps, the 4 packs of muscles that make up the upper leg on the front. Can't see all 4 of them here, but we're fine. They reach down and attach below the knee. Then we've got gastrocnemius as the bulk of the calf muscle sitting up high, and then soleus is the muscle that reaches down lower from there. And all of that terminates either in the ankles or the heel or in the muscles of the feet.